Listen very closely. The low rumble sounds like a generator running in the distance. It's now morning at the same home in the Castlereagh neighborhood of North St. Louis County. Beyond the birds chirping, you can hear the same hum in the background.
Beard said he was just sitting in his living room Tuesday night watching TV when he heard that heavy humming echoing through his home.
On Fox, we're learning more about a strange noise North St. Louis County residents say they are hearing.
This is a hum that Contact 2's Mike Colombo has heard a lot about. And as he reports tonight, many of you have thoughts on what that sound could be.
Since our report on February 21st, we've received dozens of phone calls and emails from people on both sides of the river who say they hear this hum. There is still no definitive answer on what's causing it. The viewer who shared this video with us lives less than 3 miles northwest of Micah Mayfield's home on Old Jamestown Road.
So low that it's almost inaudible, but super consistent. So usually in the evenings after 8, you'd hear a very low humming noise that would come in kind of a wave pattern.
And I remember asking my husband, I say, babe, do you hear that noise? And he's like, what noise? And I say, listen.
St. Louis County Councilwoman Shalonda Webb can hear the hum from her North St. Louis County home. She's still got the county looking into it, and so are we. Nearby, you'll find Ameren's Portage de Sus site and Aspire STL pipeline storage facility. Both utilities investigated and say it's not them. Same for the Corps of Engineers and Lambert Airport. Central Stone Company Quarry told St. Louis County it's not doing anything during the hours that people report hearing the hum. Viewers have suggested we investigate everything from barge traffic to grain bins, an industrial gas company in Madison County, Illinois, and the Taos hum. Google it.
But for many who live in Taos, they will do anything to assure you that something is there. It's a phenomenon known as the Taos hum. There's no real specific date when it started or was first noticed, but sometime around 30 years ago, a number of residents began to complain of a constant, low-frequency humming noise in Taos. As the legend of the hum began to grow, so did the curiosity for finding its source.
Now, Taos is not alone in claiming a hum. Other major cities on the other side of the world, from England to Australia, say they have their own versions of the buzzing sound.
Guys, what is going on?
Strange sounds are being heard around the world. In Sweden, this sure sounds like a trumpet. In Michigan, another trumpet-like sound. In British Columbia, Canada, Dr. Glenn McPherson says he heard a strange humming sound in his home. At first, he thought it was an appliance.
Ultimately, I cut the power to the entire house, and the sound got louder.
Then he discovered he was not alone.
This is in fact a worldwide phenomenon, and I'm calling it the worldwide hum.
Very strange. Some of Beard's posts, or some on his post, say that the sound is eerily similar to something out of the War of Worlds. Our chief meteorologist Brad Panovich thought it could be Duke Energy conducting an early growl test of its sirens. However, tonight we found out the utility officials reached out to Ryan saying it wasn't them. Colonial Pipeline also says it wasn't doing any work at that time that would warrant that sound, so the mystery remains.
Now listen to these strange booms that sound almost from another planet. It could be a sonic boom from a fighter jet breaking the sound barrier, but others remain a weird mystery.
Folks living in a northwest OKC neighborhood aren't getting much sleep this week.
The reason: random loud booms heard at night, also during the day. Our Tevis Hillis is looking into the mystery that is baffling homeowners and the city.
I haven't quite heard that sound, but homeowners tell me that this sound is shaking their walls, it's waking their kids up throughout the night, and also driving their animals crazy.
150 was the first one. It was back to back, probably about 30 seconds apart. And then this morning at 5:15.
Like a log falling into like a commercial trash can. It sounds like this.
Quail Creek, a calm, quiet community, but for the last week, they've all been asking, have you heard it?
People over here telling them about what was going on. They thought we were crazy, and then all of a sudden it went off.
Yeah, we heard it 2 or 3 times last night. I heard dogs barking. I've got bags under my eyes from staying up,
The sound is going off at all times of the day, randomly. Now it'll last about 30 seconds, but goes off multiple times.
We have a mystery on our hands, and we're not sure where it's coming from.
The city getting involved. They've sent out the utilities department, flushed the lines, checked sewers, looked at a geological survey, spoke with the golf course, talked with ONG. They have no answers. But some say they've heard it for the past 2 months. Others are just hearing it this week.
All right, top of some breaking news just into the Fox 5 newsroom. The mystery of the countywide booms that have been rattling San Diegans for a couple days here continues.
Here we go again.
There were 2 distinct episodes with windows shaking. The first one was 2 very abrupt, pretty violent shakes that I would say were maybe 10 seconds each. And then I went, wow, that feels like an earthquake. Mom and Dad, do you think that's an earthquake?
But the U.S. Geological Survey didn't report any earthquakes near San Diego today, so some people think they heard explosions from military bases. Fire! The Marine Corps base at Camp Pendleton tells ABC 10 News they cannot confirm the exact noise or shaking.
Residents we talked to say they typically just chalk up odd noises to military activity, but say this one this morning was much different than what they typically hear and feel in Mira Mesa.
We were just having breakfast, and there was 2 different booms that came, but the first time we just heard, for me it sounded like someone was knocking on our windows at the side of the house. It was really strange. Went and looked, nothing, thought maybe it was the wind. So then about 2 minutes later, another one like twice the size of that just came, and it just was rattling the whole side of the house. Everything was just rattling for maybe 3 or 4 seconds. It was just odd. It felt like an earthquake, but it just went so fast. We knew it wasn't an earthquake.
Here's some people taking to Twitter right away. Just about a half hour ago, they said yet another strange jolt just rattled our neighborhood in San Diego.
We have it from time to time, and a lot of people wondering what the heck's going on.
A lot of things going on.
It heard the 2 huge booms that night and rushed out her back door.
No smoke, nothing at all. And it just seemed unusual. Very, very unusual. It was horrifying. I mean, I was scared to death. And I looked out my shade out onto the golf course thinking that I had seen an explosion or something out there.
But instead of an explosion, Dawn caught these photos of brightness in the sky. Wednesday, while speaking with her, North Kingstown K-9 units scoured the area to uncover what is disrupting the town.
My friends and neighbors here are pretty afraid, not knowing like if something happened and what it was. I mean, I think the biggest thing is what it was. Like, what was it? If we saw something, maybe that would explain what it was, but there's no explanation.
Multiple reports of explosions in the area, and tonight we're learning this isn't the first time. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tiffany Murphy.
And I'm John DeLuca. North Kingstown residents have been complaining of hearing large booms and explosions that up until this point, no one can really put their finger on where they're coming from or what they're all about.
Residents that I spoke to today have been reporting for the last couple of weeks now, which have quite literally shaken this community. North Kingstown police also told me that similar reports have come out of neighboring towns like East Greenwich and
Ferris's 3-year-old son has been spooked by the constant bangs.
He's asking, like, what was that? And I'm obviously looking like I don't know what it is. And I just tell him, oh, that was some thunder. And he's like, but it's not raining. There is something weird going on.
We begin with a series of loud explosions caught on camera across the San Gabriel Valley last night.
But whatever it was remains a mystery tonight.
But all over the San Gabriel Valley. Others say they actually shook their homes, but so far no one out there is taking credit for causing them. Daniel Racino's caught it on his security camera. A bright flash in the middle of 3 loud blasts. We called police and fire departments, city managers, electric and gas companies all over the place, and none of them seem to know what caused these mysterious explosions that lit up the night sky at about 10:30 Monday night.
Okay, you heard that.
Draper police are asking for your help investigating that explosion early Saturday morning on Traverse Mountain. It shook homes and woke up residents on the south end of the Salt Lake Valley.
Reports of a mysterious boom in Draper early this morning. According to Draper City, a sound echoed in Salt Lake County around 1 a.m. Police reportedly sped to the scene but found nothing out of the ordinary at first. Today, Draper Police and Salt Lake County's bomb squad scoped out the area a second time after a hiker reported finding evidence of a possible explosion. We spoke to a Draper resident who witnessed it all.
Noticed a large flash go off, which is atypical. I've lived in the neighborhood for a few years. And after I saw the flash, I got out of bed and looked up the hill and then heard a boom.
Ian Gillespie says he noticed a smoke plume in the air shortly after, and that this event left him and his neighbors unsettled. City officials have confirmed the explosion was not related to any Geneva rock mine or Rocky Mountain power operations. Draper City says there's no threat to the public, but do ask that people stay out of the area.
We know based on what we found that this is not Geneva's doing. We did find evidence of an explosion. There were a lot of people that were speculating that this might have been space debris or a comet, and we've ruled that out.
Very strange. Some of Beard's posts, or some on his post, say that the sound is eerily similar to something out of the War of Worlds. Our chief meteorologist, Brad Panovich, thought it could be Duke Energy conducting an early growl test of its sirens. However, tonight, we found out the utility officials reached out to Ryan saying it wasn't them. Colonial Pipeline also says it wasn't doing any work at that time that would warrant that sound, so the mystery remains.